Today we are going to learn how to round our answers to the correct number of sig figs when we calculate. Okay. So we have two different rules that we're going to learn today. One is for addition and subtraction. The other is for multiplication and division. Okay. So we're going to start with addition and subtraction. Whenever you add or subtract, your answer has to have the same number of decimal places as the measurement with the least number of decimal places. And have you heard of the saying, like, you're only as good as your weakest link? Yeah. Okay, that's basically what this means here. So if you only have a measurement to, like, the tens place, you can't give an answer to the thousandths place, right? Like, if you're only as good as the tenths place, you can't exceed that. Okay, so we're going to do this first practice problem together. So go ahead and get out your calculator. Okay. And just enter these numbers into your calculator like normal. So do 4.3 plus 5.20 plus 11.78. And whenever you have a number, someone, if you'll just say the number out loud, help me. Okay, are you all getting 21.28? Okay, so now we're going to round this to the correct number of sig figs. So when we're adding or subtracting, we're counting decimal places. Or you can think of it as like how many numbers come after the decimal. So in this number, how many numbers come after the decimal? 1. How about this one? 2. 2. Okay, so what's the lowest amount? 1. So that means your answer can only have 1 decimal place in it. So how I like to write this, I draw a line over like where it should be. Okay, so I can only have 1 decimal. But then you have to look at the next digit to know if you're going to round up or down. Okay, so if it's 21.28, what is that 8 going to cause you to do? Round up. So what are we going to write as the answer? Good. So 21.3, and then somehow like circle, highlight, make your real answer noticeable. Okay, let's move on to the second one. Let's do 15.99 minus 5.5. And go ahead and just type that in your calculator. And then once you have your answer, go ahead and just say it out loud. Good. Okay, are we getting 10.49? Yes. Okay, so then now the last step is we're going to round it to the correct number of sig figs. Again, if we're subtracting, we're counting decimal places. So how many decimal places are in this number? 2. How about this number? 1. And it's always the lowest number. So your answer can only have 1. Okay. So again, I like to draw a line under the first one because I know that's where my number has to stop. But you always have to look at that next digit to know how you're going to round. So since that next digit is a 9, how are you going to round this? Up. And what am I going to write? 10.5. Good. Okay, so now we're going to switch gears to multiplication and division. This time, when you multiply or divide, your answer has to have the same number of sig figs as the least precise measurement in the calculation. So it's still, you're only as good as your weakest link, but instead of counting decimal places, we're counting sig figs. Okay. All right, so we're going to follow the same technique. So 5.25 times 6.0. Go ahead and just type it in your calculator. And then if you have an answer, go ahead and say it out loud. Okay, 31.5. Okay, so then next we're going to round. How many sig figs are in 5.25? Okay, 3. How many are in 6.0? 2. So how many can your answer have? 2. Only that lowest number. Okay, so now you're going to count to that second sig fig. So that's going to be in the ones column. And remember, you have to look 1 digit further to know how you're going to round it. So is the 0.5 going to cause you to round it up or stay the same? Up. So what are we going to write? Good. 32. Okay, and then last one, 25.0 divided by 5.0. Okay. When you type it in your calculator, it gives you 5. But now we're going to count sig figs. How many sig figs are in 25.0? What about 5.0? So how many have to be in your answer? 2. So how can we turn 5 into still 5 with 2 sig figs? Good. So you would need to write 5.0. So real quick, some refreshing with rounding. If your decimal is under 5, round it down. I think in math class, are they teaching you the wording kind of like keep it the same? Okay. If the decimal is 5 or higher, you're going to round it up. Okay. So for example, let's say you have like 25.5, you're going to round up to 26. Maybe you have 13.3, you're going to round down or keep it the same. So you just write it as 13. Okay, I'm going to have you practice one type of like math equation on your own. I'd recommend like type it in your calculator first, write the answer down, and then take your time rounding it and then like write the new rounded answer down. Okay, so you're going to try all these and then we'll check answers in about a minute. When you typed 79.6 plus 0.0168 in the calculator, what did the calculator give you? Okay, so you get 79.6168. Then you need to like pause and just kind of think about your rounding rules. So if you're adding, are you counting sig figs or decimals? Decimals, how many decimal places are in this number? 1. How many are in this number? 4. So how many can your answer have? 1. Okay, so 1 decimal place, and then we look to the 1. Is that going to cause you to round up or to keep it the same? Okay, so what are we writing? Okay, 79.6. Units, kind of important, right? Should we include a unit? Definitely. Okay, number 2, when you typed in 420 minus 19.11 in the calculator, what did you get? 400.89? Okay. Okay, and then we kind of pause for a second. We think about the sig fig rules. What's the sig fig rules for subtraction? Decimals. How many decimals are in 420? 0. Do we even need to take the time to look at this number? No, because how many is our answer going to have? 0. Okay. So that means it needs to be a whole number or in the ones column. So we look at the next digit. Is that 0.8 going to cause us to round up or down? Up. So what do we round it to? Okay, 401 centimeters. Okay, when you did 6.77 times 0.9, what did the calculator give you? Okay, and then you're multiplying. So are we counting sig figs or decimals? Okay, sig figs. How many sig figs are in 6.77? 3. What about 0.9? Just 1. So how many can be in your answer? 1. So here's that first sig fig. So we look to the next digit. That's 0. Are we going to round up or keep it the same? Okay, so what are we going to write? 6. And then for the unit, what's a kilogram times a kilogram? Kilogram squared? And then last one, what's 56.200 divided by 260.5? 2157. Give me 1 or 2 more digits. 38, that's good enough. Okay, we're dividing. So what's the rule for division? Sig figs. How many sig figs in 56.200? 5. All 5 of those count. What about 260.5? 4. So how many can be in your answer? 4. So 1, 2, 3. So the 7 is your 4th sig fig. So we look to the 3. Do you round it up or keep it the same? Okay, same. So we get 0.2157. Okay. And then for the unit, if it's a gram over a gram, what happens to the grams? They're going to cancel. So no unit for this number. Okay, the last type of equations we're going to talk about today are converting temperatures. What temperature scale are we used to in everyday life? Okay, Fahrenheit. Do we use Fahrenheit in science though? Okay, what units for like temperature do we use in science? Celsius or Kelvin. So Celsius is what we use when you do experiments. Kelvin is what we use when we use like calculations on paper. So we have to know how to convert between all 3 units. So here are the equations on the left. I think I put those on your paper, yes? Okay, I will always give you the equations Okay, so if I always give you the equations, do you have to memorize these? Okay, don't memorize them. I will always give them to you. Today, we just want to make sure you know how to use them. So we're going to do 2 practice problems. The first one, we're going to take 68 degrees Fahrenheit and convert that to Celsius. Okay. So if you look at the equations, what equation are we going to use? No. Which one? Okay, the third one, right? So we need to solve for degrees Celsius, and we know Fahrenheit. Okay. Okay, so degrees Celsius is equal to our degrees in Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. And then go ahead and practice typing it in your calculator. I would recommend parentheses like you see them so your calculator can do the correct order of operations. How many of you are getting 20? Okay. Sig Figs for the temperature are going to be confusing because here you're subtracting and then are you also multiplying by a fraction? Okay, so for Sig Figs for temperature, I tell you just kind of like pick a reasonable answer. I'm not strict when it comes to Sig Figs and temps. You started with how many Sig Figs in 68? 2. So let's at least end with 2 Sig Figs. What do you do to 20 to make it 2 Sig Figs? Just a decimal. You don't have to do a 0, but just let's make it at least 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then now let's convert 90 degrees Fahrenheit to kelvins. If you look at the examples, like the equations to the left, is there an equation that takes you straight from Fahrenheit to Kelvin? Good. So we're going to have to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Kelvin. Okay. So we're going to use that third equation again to get to Celsius. So we'll take our 90 Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. Okay, and so what did you get for degrees Celsius? 32.2. Okay, 32.2 repeating for Celsius. How many of you in your calculator, you have like the copy and paste button, so you can do like the 32.22222. Do that, okay? So like you really only want to round at the very end. Okay. So then now if you look at your equations, how do you get from Celsius to Kelvin? Okay, so you're going to do plus the 273. And if you can do copy and paste with the 32.222, use that because we only want to round one time and we want to round at the very end. Okay, so what's 273 plus 32.22 repeating? Okay. And so again, Sig Figs are tough to track during temperatures, so I'm not going to be picky about this. Just something like 305.22 is acceptable.